Hey everyone, this is Phil Mazurowski, 8th grade math teacher representing the 8th grade grade team for Huntington Area Middle School. There have been a lot of questions with our remote learning, and now that this will be our new norm for the remainder of the year, we wanted to get some information out to the parents and guardians to help support our students and work together as best we can. Before I get to the school part though, I want to acknowledge that we are certainly going through some tough times, and I constantly think about and sympathize for those struggling with health or struggling financially to get through this and make ends meet. Our science teacher, Mr. Quinner, is also on the board for Huntington County's United Way and shared with me that they have a COVID-19 emergency fund available for those whose lives have been greatly affected by COVID-19 and perhaps need assistance. You can go to their website, I'm showing it here right now, huntingtonuw.org, and you can fill out an application to see if you're eligible for food assistance. The three bars here have some different links and resources that you can check out. You check the COVID-19 relief application if you or your family are struggling to get some food. It's my understanding that they have gift cards to local businesses that you may be eligible for to help feed you and your family to keep everybody healthy. If you're struggling to pay bills, they can also try to get you in touch with the St. Vincent Paul Society or the Salvation Army to help you find relief. And if you have the means, there is also a way for you to donate to help give back to the community and help those less fortunate. As we face this pandemic, everybody has a role to play to ensure that we can get to the other side of this and can move forward with life, whatever that may be like. We should all be following the stay-at-home directives and probably wearing masks and gloves when we go out to ensure that our families and community members can stay healthy. And as teachers, we have a responsibility to continue educating our students. And our students have the responsibility to continue their learning, albeit in a brand new environment. Because realistically, years from now, when all of this has passed, the world's not going to accept gaps in learning and deficits of skills because of the coronavirus. So we need to take this time to step up and ensure that we can keep moving forward. And yes, it is different. Yes, it is challenging. And yes, we can do this. So the main purpose of this video is to kind of show parents especially how our classes are working moving forward here, and to show you basically what your students are supposed to be doing, how they're getting their information, where they can access their assignments, and also give you the knowledge of all that so you can support and help any way necessary. I'm going to show you real quick how to get into the Google Classroom to show you what the students see and where they can find the information. So I showed you in the last part of the video the icon for Google Classroom, so I'm going to go ahead and tap on that, and that's where all of the classes that your student is enrolled in will come up. The one that I referred to where all of the assignments can be found is the Gray Team 1920 classroom. And in the stream, this is where we put in, we call it the week in advance. So I'm going to go ahead and tap the week in advance. This is our most recent one you see from Corey Buderbaugh. He's our social studies teacher from April 13th. So when we tap on that, this is 413 to 417's week in advance. So we take time to put together our assignments. So you'll see science. On Monday, it's the live instructional day where Mr. Quinner has his Zoom sessions, and then he also lists what his homework is and when it's due. And him and Mr. Orrick, the ELA teacher, they highlight the assignments that are going to be graded, so you see how the homework is highlighted. So you see Monday, the live instructional day, complete this task and assignment. Tuesday, work on the assignment, email and use office hours as needed. Thursday, Friday, and also the study island assignment that Mr. Quinner has assigned. ELA, same idea. Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, all of the assignments are listed of what is to be done. And then we also have math and social studies on the next page. You'll also notice the schedule on the left. This is the schedule that was set forth by our administrators to follow during this remote learning time. First period starts at 10 o'clock. We don't have a first period class, but you'll notice second period is 10:30 to 10:55, and then third period. I'm going to go ahead and look at mine, the math class. Students are able to go to their Zoom session. We all have Zoom sessions set up for each class, and then we also offer office hours. So when we are not specifically teaching, or when the students don't have one of our core classes, they have the ability to log into a Zoom session and get help from us during our office hours. So we have those times listed for when they can do that. For specific classes, for science, ELA, and social studies, all of their assignments, all of their resources, all of their announcements will be in their Google Classrooms. And that's really the way it's been all year, so nothing new there. For math, as a math teacher, I send the instructional YouTube video links through Gmail and also communicate what and where the assignments are. And those are also at the end of each YouTube video. And the assignments for math are always in alex.com or for Study Island. My thought was, with only 25-minute classes, I wanted to be available to help as much as possible. So I'm doing all of my instruction through YouTube instead of Zoom, and then I'm making myself available for Zoom Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday to help during those scheduled hours like we had previous in the video. Here is an example of the typical email that I will send out. I send these out twice a week, one for the early part of the week and one for the second half of the week. This is the most recent one sent out for Thursday and Friday's assignments. And you'll see in here I have the link to the YouTube video, which is the instruction portion, and then also what the assignment is, where you can find it, and links to the Zoom meeting if they need help. The nice thing is you can just click right on the link and it will take you right to the YouTube video that goes with this assignment. And this is the instructional piece to this. My thought was, with only 25-minute classes, I wanted to be available as much as I can to assist students. So I make the instruction piece something they can view anytime, anywhere through YouTube. So they can watch the YouTube video that I make. And the nice thing about YouTube videos is you can pause them if you need to. You can fast forward them. You can rewind them if you miss something. And then another thing that I have at the very end of all of my YouTube videos is what the assignment is and where it can be found, as I'm showing right here. So for this particular video, the instruction part goes to the Evaluating Algebraic Expressions Intro to Formulas assignment, and that can be found on Alex. I also mentioned that some assignments are on Study Island. That is true for math, ELA, and science. To log into Study Island, the students need to go to Clever, which if they don't have the link saved on their device already, you can go to huntsd.org, and there is a link to the Clever login. And to log into Clever, they just use their school Gmail. It will come up, log in through Google, and they just type in their information, and then there is a link right there to Study Island they could get into their. When a student logs on to Study Island, this is the page that they will be brought to. It's got active assignments. That's not really the best place to go to find your assignments. The best place to go is actually in the My Classes tab. In the My Classes tab, you'll see the different classes, the ELA, math, science. There isn't anything for social studies. But to find your assignments, you actually want to tap on the View Assignments button. That's where the different assignments will come up. And you can see when they were assigned and when they should be done. These were from, most of these are from the third marking period. If you look at the very bottom one, the distance, that was assigned April 19th. That is the most current one that needs to be completed at this point. So you would go ahead and tap on the name of the assignment, and a couple different options will come up. A lesson, flashcards, practice, game mode, printable worksheets. The lesson, if you're unsure of what the topic is going to be about, you can go through the lesson. It'll give you key definitions, examples. It'll show you how to complete the examples. There's usually multiple pages. Sometimes there are links to instructional videos to help you with that. But when you're finished with the lesson and you think you are comfortable with what's going on, the practice is actually where the assignment is. So you would tap on the practice and it'll jump you right into the different problems here. And you go through the problems. Looking at this one, I'm going to go ahead and select A. And if you get it wrong, it will walk you through the explanation to it, so you can figure out what you need to do correct the next time. You can go through these questions, and most study island assignments you are allowed to complete multiple times. So if you go through once and you are not happy with the grade that you got, you can go ahead and take it again. The other place where math assignments are found is on alex.com, and that's ALEKS.com, not ALEX. Students have their own usernames and passwords that they've been using all year. If they happen to forget them, they can always email me and I can supply that for them. But as soon as you log into Alex, the assignment will pop up and they just have to go ahead and hit get started. And they have 3 chances on each of these assignments, and each one of them is actually going to give them multiple choices. So if you're looking at this particular assignment, the first thing I want to point out is there is options for help. On the right hand side, you can go ahead and click on example, and they will give you a similar type of problem and show you how to do this particular problem. So you can go ahead and look at the example and try to figure out how to do that problem and then try it yourself. There's also, you can look at this specific example, but it does you lose a question attempt. So I recommend looking at the example instead. So I'm going to go ahead and put this answer in. And then you can go on to the next problem. And a green check mark at the top means that you got it correct. We move on to the next question. I'm going to go ahead and answer this one incorrectly, so you can see what happens here. So first, this is not a whole number, so I'm going to go ahead and put in a decimal. This is still going to be incorrect. But it's going to say, okay, you got this question wrong, go ahead and try it again. And if you get the question wrong, if you can find your own mistake, that's great. If not, go ahead and look at the explanation or the example itself. So if you look at, I'm going to go ahead and look at the example here and lose the question attempt, but it'll tell me exactly how I would do this particular problem and what the answer was. And then I could go ahead and return to that question. And this is when, if you get that wrong, you can try it again. And we could look at this particular question instead and see if we can get that wrong. And we can skip around and go to the other types of questions. And after you've completed all of the questions, you go ahead and hit submit assignment in the bottom right hand corner. The other thing that I want to show is if students happen to get behind or miss an assignment, they can tap on those 3 bars in the top left and go to the assignments and see all of the different assignments that are assigned to them at this time and when the due date is, or also how they performed on them. The last thing I want to talk about is grading. Our grading system is Skyward. Unfortunately, Skyward does not link to where any of our assignments are. So just because your student completes an assignment doesn't mean that that grade is going to automatically upload into Skyward. Basically, what we do as teachers is we wait until the assignment has been done and completed by everybody, and then we put the grades in all at once. If a student happens to complete it late, what we ask is that they email us so we can put the assignment in. But like I said, it's not going to happen right away. The best practice is to complete the assignments in a timely manner when they are first assigned. And then as long as they are completed before they are due, the gradebook will be updated and be accurate. Now, what's nice about what we're trying to do with remote learning is nothing is that different from what we have been doing all year long. The kids have been using Study Island all year long. The kids have been using Alex for math all year long, and they've been using Google Classroom all year long. So that's not anything different. But obviously, we're instructing slightly differently now with Zoom and using YouTube lessons. And there are going to be some struggles, there are going to be some challenges, there are going to be some questions. But we want to make sure that we are there for you, that you can communicate with us anytime. You can email us, and we can make our email addresses available to you. Also, if you want to be put on my email list to see what the students are getting emailed to them in terms of their assignments, the videos, you can go ahead and email me. Tell me what your student's name is, what your email address is, and I will go ahead and add you to that email list. So anytime that I email the class assignments out, you can get them as well, so you can stay caught up. I also recommend for the students that they subscribe to my YouTube channel, so then they get the YouTube videos right away, and then they can watch those before the assignments are even due, so then they can fully utilize the Zoom session to ask me questions. We're trying to make this work as best we can. Nothing's going to be perfect, and things may change a little bit later. We will obviously communicate that if they have to change, but we're doing the best we can. We hope your students do the best they can, and as always, reach out to us if you have any questions, and spread the word.